In today's video, I'm giving you 5 strategies I give to all my fat loss clients so they can manage their cravings during a diet. Because as you know, if you're trying to drop fat and get leaner, the hardest part of staying on your diet is avoiding all the food that can completely derail your progress, which is easier said than done, especially if you find yourself in the pantry each and every night, face down in a bag of chips or entire pints of ice cream. Here's what you need to do instead. And make sure you hang around for my last tip. It's the best one, so I'm saving the best for last. All right, starting with tip number 1, which is staying busy. So many times when you're in a fat loss diet and you're looking to get leaner, boredom eating takes over. A lot of times boredom, and you're not really eating because you're hungry, you're eating because you're looking for something to do. Many cravings stem from that. And if you come into it in a position where you're already not eating enough food because you're in a calorie deficit and you get bored, those cravings are just going to be off the chart, especially if you've been overly restrictive. So what you can do, and a lot of the tips that I outlined today some of them are going to be food focused and a bit more psychology as well, but our environment and our habits plays a lot into how we manage cravings. So if you can add some non-food focused stuff into your routine, especially at night when cravings tend to be the worst, you're going to be in a better place for it. So think about, some things like relaxing activities like tea, journaling, reading, maybe going out for a walk, especially after dinner. These things can be really helpful to keep you busy and not focused on food. Now, you can still eat certain foods that'll be helpful for you to manage those cravings, or work some things in, which I'll detail a little bit later that'll keep you on track. But this isn't about avoiding food altogether. Some level of hunger is going to be expected during a fat loss phase, which is different than psychological cravings. But if you stay busy, not only will you manage that hunger and put yourself in a position to not feel as hungry and restricted, but you'll also find that the cravings that, come from just being too food focused will start to diminish as well. It's just going to be much easier to manage. So that's the first thing you can do. Find ways to stay busy and not be as food focused, specifically during a diet or a cut. My second tip here is to make sure that you're eating enough protein and calories during the day. When you're trying to lose fat, you have to be managing calories. But if you focus just on trying to create a calorie buffer during the day and eat way less, maybe skip meals, maybe just eat only protein, and maybe just like only salads, like the stuff I've heard over the years, can be pretty eye-opening, but maybe you find yourself in that situation. You'll find though, the lower you go throughout the day, chances are the worse your cravings get at night. Your cravings aren't going to be managed well when you're underfed and undernourished. So if you're feeling like all you want to do is eat overly processed foods that are like convenient, tasty, full of sugar and fat, combination of both, and hyper palatable, chances are you're not eating enough high quality stuff throughout the day. This isn't just at dinner. This is also at breakfast and lunch and maybe snacks if you need them. So work on eating much more protein and overall food, as well as, some food with quite a bit of density. We're talking fruits and vegetables, foods that supply a lot of calories, not a lot of calories for a large weight of food that will help you with the actual mechanical aspect of hunger, which might diminish cravings because you're just not going to be as hungry overall. Again, these two things aren't exactly the same, but they're linked and they're influenced by each other. So if you can go into those scenarios not being as hungry, you're less likely to crave food that'll derail you. With that being said, as well, if you eat most of your food or most of your protein during the day, you could probably give yourself a bit of room to eat more like snack-based foods, like in the green light to eat snack-based foods, like foods that are higher in carbs and fat, because you've already consumed an adequate amount of protein throughout the day. So things like, like rice-based chips, like chips maybe even in general, if you really like them, you can get away with eating some of those like food, ice cream, that type of stuff, if you've already ate enough protein overall. With that being said, if you're still low on protein, maybe working on some snack-based foods like Quest chips, something that's like higher protein, snack-based thing might be still appropriate. But the key is eating enough through the day so you can get away with eating the things you enjoy at night and not feeling like you're going to go completely off the rails. The next tip here is tip number 3, which I don't know. I haven't dug into the science around this in terms of peer-reviewed research, but I personally have used it quite a bit. And I know my clients benefit from it as well, which is just brushing your teeth. Instead of brushing your teeth right before bed, if you do it earlier, like after dinner or when you start to wind down, there's like a psychological effect around there almost being like this kitchen is closed signal to your brain. You've already done the thing of like, cleaning your teeth. And why would you clean them again and brush them again by snacking more? If you're going to have cravings, that type of thing, you're less likely to snack and go overboard with cravings when your mouth is like had that reset, feeling minty fresh, and your brain has already been like, I've ate enough food for the day, or I've ate what I've allotted for the day. This is one of the easiest things you can do, habit-based strategies that you can put in place to help manage some cravings, especially during a fat loss phase. Number 1, personal hygiene is always important. So I'm always going to encourage you to brush your teeth and take care of your oral hygiene because actually, your microbiota and microbiome starts in your mouth, and so many diseases like cardiovascular disease have been linked to poor oral health. So keep brushing your teeth, but doing it a little bit earlier and doing it more often might help you manage your cravings and cut down on food that you necessarily don't need or don't, you're not hungry for, but you might be craving. So you can do this without really feeling like you're restricting anything. Tip number 4, this is where we start to dive into some of the behavioral stuff around cravings. One of the best things you can do, and sometimes cravings are going to be, a craving for food isn't always, you're essentially searching for something. You're searching to feel better, feel an emotion, enjoy something. There's so much going on in your mind when you're looking to eat something, or you just flat out want it. But if you can stretch out the time between craving something and the action of actually consuming it, you're just going to give your chance to be much more reflective and aware around why the craving is happening. Most snacking at night is just completely mindless. So what I encourage most of my fat loss clients to do, and I've worked with 2,000 plus over the last 15 years, is that if you can give yourself a little bit more time to think and pause and reflect on what's going on as you have that craving, you're going to be in control of making that decision, which is the difference maker. There's nothing that's good or bad around the decision. You're just going to be in control of it, which most people that start to crave a certain food, eat some of it, go completely off the rails, they don't have that control. But you can build this into your life, into your system, into your skills by just giving yourself a little bit more time. So what I would encourage you to do if you're my client is, number 1, as you have that craving, just pause. Really feel things out in terms of like, why am I having this craving? Am I hungry? Do I really want it? Is it something else? You're just having the practice of being more mindful. Then like pause and reflect and really think about what is going on there. Then give yourself a chance to decide if you want it or not. Extending this time between cravings and the actual act of eating is going to put you into control in a scenario where a lot of people don't feel like they have control, which is going to be very helpful and beneficial for you. So just give yourself some time. That's probably the most important thing you can do. Now, tip number 5, and I do truly feel, especially if you're someone that has struggled with your weight and you've dieted in the past, I do think this is the most meaningful tip and strategy. And that is, a lot of times with cravings, like avoidance isn't the best strategy. You should plan, especially if you enjoy something. Like fat loss is a game of compromise. You should work your plan around something like that. Plan a treat in and work around it. You can work things. You can truly, with fat loss, it's one of those things where you can have it all, but you can't have it all at once. You have to kind of, move things around. And, if I encourage all of my clients to track what they're eating because it makes this process a lot easier to work things in, pre-portion snacks, work around certain things. But fat loss, it's a game of compromise. So working something in everyone gets so upset at mini chocolate bars at Halloween and stuff being like, I want to eat a bunch of them, but they're the perfect amount of chocolate. Working 1 to 2 of those in within what you need to be doing to be in a calorie deficit and lose weight. It's one of the smartest things you can do. If you know you can have something and you're currently having it, you're less likely to crave it out in an out of control capacity. So if you can work things in, you're no longer feeling like, hey, I'm not sure I can eat much more of this. That's going to give you something to look forward to avoid some of the food scarcity that goes along with dieting and makes you much more less likely to crave it to the point where you go off the rails. It gives you something to look forward to and manages that food scarcity that can come with diet. So I would always encourage you to, especially if you're someone that's battled with black and white thinking, all in or out mentality around food. One of the smartest things you can do is start to work these type of things in, work around it. And you'll realize that your cravings almost go away because it's one of those things where once you rule something out that you can no longer have it, you're much more likely to crave it. So work it in and work around it. And those are my 5 tips for today. If you enjoyed this video, maybe you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more nutrition and nutrition coaching videos. And these are the 5 tips to manage cravings during fat loss. Cravings are a tough thing, as well as appetite can be really tough to manage. So I want to give you 5 more tips in the video I've linked up right here. That's going to be 5 tips to manage your appetite during a fat loss phase. You're going to learn those tips in the video I've linked up right here. So check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video.